happy to welcome you back into another edition of Laurel's List. We look forward to doing this almost weekly at this point. Laurel has been a regular guest for us on Fridays on the Meltdown, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, and she shares not only the list segment that John also does with Luntz's List, but also shares her heart with you, John, and I know that that's what really means something.
Whoa, wow. She does? Yeah, that's cool. Yes, I'm always willing to share. I mean, we could just call it Luntz's List too, but
we're not going to.
It makes it very special list to call it
a very
Laurel's
different
list.
It is. Branding is important. We all know this. We also know that branding is important when it comes to the marketing for big summer blockbusters.
Yes, very important.
That is what we're here to talk about. Now, I don't know how much crossover there will be from your most anticipated horror movies of the year.
I tried to differentiate because I didn't want to have like so much similarity, but there's a few that do.
Okay. I had a feeling that would be the case, and I'm fine with that. But I want to start off with number 5 when it comes to your most anticipated summer movies. This is from the month of May through the month of August.
Okay, number 5. And this one comes out in August, and I actually don't really know much about it. I don't think anyone really does, except for the synopsis. I'm hoping a trailer soon. But number 5 for me is Trap, because I am a M. Night Shyamalan. I will defend him. I love his movies. I know he's had a few misses.
She has to defend him a lot.
I will, and I will defend him. At least he's doing something original.
What did you think of Old?
I loved Old.
Oh, my God.
I didn't think Old was.
I thought Old was fine.
Bad.
For M. Night Shyamalan, I thought it was okay.
The actors.
The script and the acting was absolutely atrocious. The woman, the mom, atrocious.
Defend. See, this is how it normally goes.
Here's what I'm saying: is at least it wasn't a sequel or a prequel. At least it was something different. I loved the actor who plays the Wolfman character in the Marvel universe.
Oh,
I really like him.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It had our girl who looked like Paris Hilton, who was in what's the show on HBO? Lovecraft Country.
Well, we can't remember anybody's name.
Yeah. The guy from The Father.
Yeah. Gail Garcia Bernal played that werewolf at night or whatever in Marvel.
I really liked him.
He was the main character in that. Yeah. Anyway.
But you saying that I will still see him. I have not given up on him totally, but Old was awful.
But it was number 1 for a long time. That was like a post-COVID movie that stuck around.
I think Old has actually been one of his best recently here, but
middle of the pack for me, but for him, that's good because boy, he has some stinkers in there.
I will say he has one really bad movie. That's what there was one that is legitimately.
What is it?
Lady in the Water.
That is really bad.
It is a really bad movie. The others have, especially his early ones, are all good. Then he kind of faltered, and then he started with The Visit. That's when they started getting better, and they've been on uphill since then. So I'm excited for Trap. It's got
Josh Hartnett.
Yes, which I'm excited from. Oppenheimer. So.
I'll submit Last Airbender as another terrible M. Night.
I didn't hate Last Airbender.
By the way, Laurel feels attacked by all of you so much that now she's enlisting my help by saying Oppenheimer, the Josh Hartnett movie, Oppenheimer.
Well, I wasn't going to say Here on Earth because,
The Faculty.
Halloween H2O.
Hey, I actually think The Faculty is ripe for a remake. I really do. I think
get that Zeke character back.
Bring that back up. Okay, so Trap at number 5, all we know is it takes place at a concert. It's got Josh Hartnett, M. Night Shyamalan. Should be good.
Right.
That's the hope.
Hope so.
Let's go with number 4 on Laurel's list of the 5 summer movies you're most anticipating.
And this one's coming up soon. I'm very excited for The Fall Guy.
Okay. Ryan Gosling.
Yes, which is my favorite. And I really like Emily Blunt, too. I think more talented than her husband, but, what they were saying, whatever. But I think they have really good chemistry after what I saw at the Oscars with them together. And then seeing the hype after South by Southwest. And I've heard it's got a lot of cameos in it. And I've heard it's like a love letter kind of to the stunt community as well as to Hollywood. And I think it's just going to be good. I'm excited.
So do you have something personally against Josh Krasinski, or are you just like Ryan Gosling?
I don't
know.
John, what did I say, Josh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm still thinking about Josh Hartnett, the star of Oppenheimer.
I don't know. I think it's because we've rewatched The Office so many times, and I used to love Pam and Jim's relationship, and then the more I watched it, especially it's the final season, they do so many things that I'm like, this couple I know is not together anymore. Like, I just get the vibe that they're probably not. And I think
and right now, it comes out a couple weeks later, I assume it's not going to make your list, is the Imaginary Friend movie that John Krasinski did. That every time that trailer comes on, it's like, I'm so tired of this trailer. I don't want to watch it. So much so they even did a whole campaign with Randall Park, who played
Which
Jim.
was funny. I liked that.
It was funny, but it's like, thank God John Krasinski's not in this trailer to promote his own movie.
And we do have to admit, when there was the trailers, we were watching them, and it was It was, what's it called? If.
If.
And then the very next thing, which he was in the trailer, which he directed it, he's not in it. And then the very next trailer was A Quiet Place, which he again is not in. And it was just scenes of it.
That's
and
funny.
Cillian
It's like,
Murphy.
stop putting yourself on the screen. You're not doing anything
And
this year
Cillian
acting.
Murphy, when Cillian Murphy, which Tim, you'll like this, when he won the Oscar.
He's an Oppenheimer.
It just all boils back down to my Oppenheimer
Who, by the
obsession.
way, he also put Cillian Murphy in the Quiet Place trailer too, because it's like, I gotta get off this
When
Oppenheimer
Cillian
hype.
Murphy like won the Oscar, he was like trying to get up to the stage, and like I just see like John Krasinski like reaching for him, like holding his arm. It's like, but you weren't even in Oppenheimer. Like, let's be for real, you know.
He was by proxy.
Number 3 is where we're headed next with most anticipated summer movies. The summer season is almost upon us.
And Tim, and I think Tyler, Sean might like this one too, but I know you haven't seen it yet, but Maxine, I am so excited for the A24. I think this is going to be the biggest one out of the trilogy. I love Pearl. I think X is a really good modern day Texas Chainsaw, but I think I can even get John to go see Maxine. So I'm excited about that.
I saw Pearl. From a violent standpoint, it's a close your eyes twice movie. It's really
But she's
not that
good.
bad. It was okay. I still have zero desire to see X. Just watching the trailer for X makes me cringe, but it's like, hey, X did pretty good. Okay, Pearl did pretty good. Let's put a ton of money into this one because the cast is much
huge,
bigger in this
yeah.
one. X had a decent one, but it was Jenna Ortega before she became big. It was Kid Cudi, who, as an actor, wasn't quite there yet. This has Giancarlo Esposito, Lily Collins, Elizabeth Debicki, Bobby Cannavale. It's got a ton of people all of a sudden on top of Mia Goth, obviously.
And Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon is in it. So it's like, let's go spend some money for the third movie in this trilogy.
And it takes place in the 80s, and it has the 80s.
Everything
retro
about this
vibe
is
to it.
like, yeah, sure, I'm all in, except for the fact I know what the first two movies are. But we'll see.
The
Is anybody
ongoing
in Oppenheimer?
I don't think so.
Don't think
The
so.
ongoing struggle of John trying to slowly be turned into a horror fan by Laurel, even though Laurel, I think, would make the argument that John's already a horror fan. He just
think
doesn't
so.
know it.
I just
He's
don't.
just not willing to admit it.
I don't like slasher stuff.
Yeah.
And like I feel like X was very much a slasher movie. Pearl really wasn't, but had some elements of it a little bit, but it was kind of more tame than that. This, I don't know honestly what it's going to be. We got to see the trailer to see.
I think it's more of a murder mystery, so I think that will be something that you'll like too.
Out of the 3 movies that have been mentioned, Tyler, Trap, The Fall Guy, and Maxine, which one of those 3 would you be most excited to see if you were to have a microphone to be able to speak into? Oh, you're good.
The one I would be most excited to see, I haven't seen the other 2 movies in the trilogy, but Maxine looks good. I've been wanting to watch X, and I will be watching The Fall Guy. There's an early access screening that I will be signing up for.
Okay, there we go. Number 2 on Laurel's list, most anticipated summer movies.
Okay, and Tim, I think you're gonna be excited about this one too. Is Alien?
Covenant.
Yeah, it's not Covenant.
Not
Romulus.
Covenant. Romulus. I am messing everything up today, and
Covenant
I
was
apologize.
Awful. I'm excited because I didn't really care for those either. But
Prometheus is amazing.
I miss Prometheus.
Yeah.
Prometheus has that scene that I just cannot handle. It makes me want to pass out.
The birthing scene.
The teaser trailer for Alien Romulus was perfect.
Yes.
That's the simplest way to put it. It sets the scene. That's all you need. That's
Yeah.
all I need to know I want to buy a ticket to the movie.
Yes.
I actually hope they don't show me anything else, but I have to watch it because I have to keep up to date.
It did a great
with the
job
marketing.
for me to not want to go see it because it says just enough to say, hey, y'all like Alien when it's horror, not when it's just straight up sci-fi like Prometheus was. We're going to go back to it. And they're going back to it. Okay, cool, I'm out. Cool, you're in. We
And
can all go
I-
our separate ways.
I think what's her name that plays Priscilla, and she's going to be in.
Kaylee Spaney.
I feel like she's becoming like a really big name now because that's 2 pretty big movies that she's going to be in, and she's going to be in that. So I'm excited to see it.
Number 1 on Laurel's list, most anticipated summer movie is what?
I think it's got to be Deadpool 3. I think that's the biggest movie. And when I was making this list, and actually when we were at the movies the other day, Sean, you'll appreciate this. Every movie, like the first 4 trailers, were movies straight from the 90s. It was Twisters, Bad Boys, 4 or 5,
Yeah.
4.
4, The Crow,
Ugh.
and then I forgot what I was like, this is just like
Yeah.
the 90s. So I know it's a lot of sequels, I know it's a lot of prequels, but I think this is like the big one.
Not into Dead.
And it may or may not have Taylor Swift in it too.
That's
so.
also a big. Yeah.
Travis Kelce?
I hope. I
So
wish.
you never know.
I am convinced this will be the highest grossing movie of at least the summer.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be in contention for highest grossing movie of the year. I think John's not wrong with Despicable Me, the latest chapter of it coming out, being a box office bankable draw.
Which comes out 4th of July weekend, so
Yeah.
can't believe you didn't
Along
include
with
that.
Maxine.
Disney needs Deadpool and Wolverine to be right for a number of reasons. They need Inside Out 2 to draw an audience as well. I do think that there's a lot of families that are conditioned now to just wait for things on Disney+. Deadpool and Wolverine will be a movie people don't feel like they can wait for.
Right.
And if the buzz on it is good, it's going to hold really steady from week 1 to week 2 to week 3 to week 4. It's going to be a juggernaut at the box office as long as the word of mouth is they didn't hold anything back. And from what I'm seeing lately from Disney and a lot of their upcoming projects, they're not holding anything back with things.
No.
Well, they can't hold anything back with Deadpool because Deadpool's kind of thing that already has had like cameos. Like Brad Pitt was in, Deadpool 2 for a hot second.
Bill Skarsgård?
Bill Skarsgård was in it for a hot second. So like you have to, the whole Taylor Swift thing, like that's very much been rumored because obviously her and Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively are all friends. Like, yeah, if that's in there, even if she's in there for the literal split second that Brad Pitt was in there, all of a sudden you get all the Swifties coming to see Deadpool that makes it a ton more money.
I think Blake Lively is going to be
Blake Lively is supposedly supposed to be in it as well. So, like, if that's just a couple of the cameos we know about, plus, oh, by the way, this is literally supposed to tie the Fox and Disney universe together, that you're going to bring in a ton of X-Men. Of course, obviously, Hugh Jackman is going to be in it, but, like, you're going to bring another X-Men that could have all kind of cameos, because between young and old, there's a ton of major actors that play in the X-Men series. So just those alone would be enough, plus anything else you do potentially add to it, that it has to do that. I hope it does. It seems like Disney's going to do it, but until it actually happens, I won't be fully confident in it.
Still, a lot of that right there is short-term issues. This movie has the capability that if it gets over with the crowd to fix a lot of lingering long-term issues that Marvel has had since Endgame came out, yes. And that is that they cannot re-reach those heights. You had Spider-Man No Way Home reach those heights, only to then fall right off a cliff. And superhero fans in general have been disappointed ever since that movie for the most part. Laurel, this is a very solid number 1 at Deadpool and Wolverine. Hugh Jackman, aren't we rooting for him?
Yes.
Because Logan was perfect, and this is going to be tonally a very different type of Logan and Wolverine, I think, that we're going to get in this one compared to that movie. I think people are really
excited. And I feel like this is the perfect time for the movie because they are both getting up there in age. And I know that they both have said, like, it's really hard to be working out this much and on our bodies. So I think this is I know that the strike and everything kind of slowed things down a little bit, but it comes out in July.
Yeah, July 26th.
July 26th. I know it was originally supposed to come out in May, but July, I think this is the perfect time. And you're right. I think, like, Marvel has been on such a, I don't know, kind of mid-tier lately that I think this is going to put it back up.
You have a guy that's played this character for a quarter of a century.
Yeah.
And no one else currently can be seen as being in this role of Wolverine. That's the element of this that I'm most excited about, and I surely hope it delivers. I think that they handled his appearance in that Super Bowl trailer that came out perfectly, of just seeing the silhouette on the ground, lifting up Ryan Reynolds as he's about to curse for being clawed right in the gut. And I can't wait for trailer 2 to show us even more.
My only fear, though, as you mentioned, Logan is a near perfect superhero movie.
Perfect send-off.
But it's the perfect end for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine that now, I'm not saying they're going to mess it up, but I'm worried that it's going to either diminish the effect Logan had on the overall arc of Wolverine, that, yeah, the nerds are more into than just like the casual person. Like everybody in the office has seen Logan and enjoyed Logan. But I'm just worried what it does to that. And then it's like, oh, that's not the Logan I remember.
Logan transcended the superhero genre because it was really looked at as a modern-day Western.
Yeah.
And if there's a Mr. Darcy reference.
Oh, gosh.
Or a Tom from Succession reference. I'll take either one.
Yeah, you might as well have just stuck your claws right there in John's heart with that statement.
So I moved on to Succession.
Tyler, I know Deadpool and Wolverine will be a movie you're there for night 1 of.
I will be, and like John said, I am worried about how this affects the legacy of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I agree with you guys. Logan was a perfect send-off. I was honestly not looking forward to this movie coming out just because Logan was such a good send-off.
Well, and that's
I am worried about it diminishing the legacy.
It's not that this will be bad. Like, he'll give a bad performance. The character will be bad in this, whatever. It's just, this is like a straight-up comedy. Deadpool's are straight-up comedies. Logan is a straight-up super serious movie with a lot of a lot of issues because you go with how Professor X is treated in it, how Logan is, a father-daughter almost kind of relationship with him, and X-24. I always get which one mixed up it is. But anyway, X-23. I always do that. But that there's all of that.
Was
that it's
X-23 in Oppenheimer? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so.
But I'm just, there's so much with that it's not that he's bad. And it's not that Wolverine fitting into this new universe is bad, because this doesn't mean he can't do it in the Avengers necessarily. But it's just, as it completely diminished, like, well, that's been retconned. We're moving on now.
I just hope that the relationship in this movie is different than Deadpool and Cable from Deadpool 2. I hope that there's a distinction, that it's not the same trope of opposite super serious guy that cracks all the jokes. I hope there's a little bit of banter back and forth. Where the thing I'm looking most forward to in this movie is just those two characters getting in an argument. I know that sounds crazy, but that's going to be where some gold is.
I got one. You're going to like this one. Deadpool's in a car, right? I'm just thinking of this on the top of my head. Wolverine's in the passenger seat, and they're listening to the radio. And Deadpool has like hip hop on. He's like, oh, and then Wolverine types like, no, and it turns into like a Glenn Miller big band stuff.
And you just thought of that off the top of your
head? Yeah, we're like hitting each other's hands, and like that's not a good song.
I thought what you were going to say is that he couldn't turn the dial because he has the claws.
Yeah.
No, that'd be stupid, because the cars are obviously a rental, and Deadpool's going to be pissed that he's going to ruin the dash.
If that actually happens, then I'm just going to get up and walk out.
I feel a lot like Marvel after Endgame right now. All the momentum we had has just suddenly dissipated.
Have y'all seen my damn web?
We're going to get into a Madam Web review at some point, and we're going to just have a watch party or something. I don't know. If the people request it, we will do it. That's going to do it for Laurel's list. Laurel, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you sharing your list with us, and we'll have more of those to come. John, plenty of things to do on the interweb, including visiting our title sponsor.
Go to mybookie.ag, use promo code NEXTROUND, get that first deposit bonus. March Madness, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs about to start, Major League Baseball just started. Play in that live casino, play their slots, do all kind of stuff, play horses, lotto, all kind of stuff. Go to mybookie.ag, use promo code NEXTROUND.
And if you haven't already, we'd love for you to subscribe, be a part of Meltdonia with us as we continue to build the platform that brings you movies, pop culture, television, all types of reviews and reactions right here at Meltdown 247.